Ahsoka has a dark secret, and it's something that hides underneath the surface of everything in Star Wars. And the TV show is diving even deeper into that in a very interesting way. Welcome to Star Wars Uplink. Episode 4 of Ahsoka is here. We're getting some really fun things in this episode. We're getting where the show is going as a whole in this episode. All of the different pieces are slowly getting put into place like a chessboard.
Indeed. And we're starting to see the crumble of what we thought was going to be the build, but now it's already crumbling. So
Yeah.
It's good.
It's a really good way to tell a story because you get these different pieces. You get this here. Like it starts to go one direction and then you find out that, oh no, actually wasn't strong enough to go that direction. So now we're going over here.
It actually makes it very realistic.
Yeah, it does. And on our live stream that we do every Tuesday after the episode airs, basically it launches 7 p.m. our time, which is Mountain Standard Time. 8 p.m. we usually launch the live stream. We were talking about how this is a very emotional, guided show. We're diving into these very different moving pieces, but they all have a very similar through line, which is the emotion that each of these characters are trying to face, failures, lack of trust, too much trust, and baggage all the way from the Jedi era.
Yeah, a lot of baggage we're unpacking.
But something that we saw that we all knew we're going to see. This is a Dave Filoni creation big time, which is the world between worlds. And this was something that when we
I called it, man. I was like, oh, she did not just land in the world between worlds.
Yeah. Nope, she did.
She did. 100%. I don't know how.
I'm not entirely sure how.
No.
It's
That's
called plot armor. If we would take a step back, it's definitely plot armor. I guess it kind of makes sense if you look at that planet as like a big part of the Force. How they do have the hinge there, which gives you the ability to, channel Force powers and go to another universe.
Yeah. It's not that huge of a step to think, okay, she fell off a cliff and then fell into the world between worlds, I guess.
But now that it's here,
yeah,
we're having to deal with it. So in the episode, she falls in, wakes up in the world between worlds, and hears Anakin's voice. Turns out Anakin's there, right behind her.
What?
And that was something that I knew we were all going to see it. I did not expect us to see Anakin in this way.
No. Yeah, we had gone back and forth about like how are we going to see Anakin
We
because
thought like flashbacks, Force
flashbacks
Ghost,
or-
visions.
yeah,
How is this
yeah.
going to be?
We did not. We did not predict the world between worlds.
How can you predict Anakin showing up in the world between worlds?
But how
I don't
could
feel
you
like
not.
What?
Also,
I guess
anything
that's
can
true.
happen in the world between worlds, and that's a way. It's a little bit better of a way than a Force Ghost.
Yeah, because with the Force Ghost, you're like, why are you showing up now, bro?
Yeah, like come on, I could have had you this entire time, and now you're gonna show up. Come on.
But I think this is a fascinating thing because I feel like what we see in the world between worlds is representations of the Force. So the Force needs Ahsoka to see something that she can only see through Anakin's eyes.
But also, I think it's important that we are seeing him in the world between worlds because we're getting a more time-accurate Anakin that Ahsoka would know. We're getting pre-Vader Anakin now. Like, that's what we're getting in the world between worlds because it's a timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly in there. So, this is the Anakin that she knows. And this is the Anakin that can really, truly answer the questions and things that she needs to ask. Hopefully she'll be asking some good ones.
Yeah. But I feel like that everything that Baylan said is setting her up to ask these questions. She went through the emotional ringer when we look at Ahsoka and Baylan and their whole interaction. She got freaking destroyed. Mostly because of just the skill and physical power that Baylan has over
that guy's a
Ahsoka.
beast.
Seriously, I love Baylan as a character. I think it's super cool to see what's happening here with this character. And he is so rich and deep and detailed with everything that's going on there. I'm really interested to see where he goes forward.
Yeah.
But everything that he's saying is so well thought out, so well intuited, that I feel like Ahsoka she's deep in the mud.
Yeah, she's nowhere near where she could be. I think that's what Baylan is really showing us.
Yeah.
Is that it's like, no, you can have a truly deep understanding of the Force when you have a truly deep understanding of yourself.
Yes, it's so good.
Yeah. And she's not allowing herself to acknowledge her past and to bring it forward. And she hasn't made peace with that or something. Like there's just...
Well, she just keeps on running from things. She does not give herself the freedom or the ability to face any of the past transgressions. Look at the relationship that Ahsoka and Sabine have. It's built on the crumbling foundations of failed past missions.
Yeah, it's real bad.
Like episode opens up with that. It opens up with, are you good? Can I trust you?
Yeah.
When you ask someone if you can trust them, you feel like you can't trust them. Like that's how that goes.
Yeah. You don't ask if you actually do trust.
Yeah.
So
I think that's fascinating. But if we go back into the world between worlds, if we look at why do you think she needs to go into the world between worlds?
I don't know why else she would be in the world between worlds. There is a strong connection with Ahsoka in the world between worlds. Not as strong as maybe with Ezra because he was the original.
Yeah, he was the one that found
one. But I feel like because that.
Well, she kind of lives because of the world between worlds.
Yeah, it's true.
Like if you look back into it, she's the exception that proves the rule. She was able to get pulled out of that moment and saved from getting killed by Vader, by Ezra. And that allowed her to have a different perspective on things. And the relationship that she has with the bird, that is a representation of the daughter in terms of the father, the son, and the daughter, the representations of the different sides of the Force, and then the balance of them together. She has a very rich history with this. So it does make sense that it would almost come to her in a time of need because it came to her previously in a time of need.
Okay, so we have Anakin, who ultimately becomes evil, like this embodiment of
big evil.
Yeah, and then we have Ahsoka, who has a strange connection to the lady. So you've got the evil, and you've got the lady. I think we are going to probably see Ahsoka become something very much like the daughter.
If you look at white Gandalf version of Ahsoka, I feel like that's where we're leading.
Yep.
I feel like that's where we probably will end with Ahsoka.
Like, I would not be surprised if we see some like gifting thing of the bird's power or something to Ahsoka.
I think we've already got that. Like, I don't
really?
think it needs to be explicit because we just see the bird following her around everywhere.
But not in live action yet.
Not in live action
So.
yet. Yeah, so that's still to come.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like Anakin in this series is going to be very interesting. And unlike Obi Wan, they actually did a good job of not making him look 75 years old.
Yeah, they made him look really tired.
Yeah.
And it wasn't good. Poor guy. Poor guy.
Yeah. But now we're seeing a really good version of Anakin. And I think it's really exciting to see what direction this is going to be going and where we see this even more. But let us know your theories and thoughts on the breakdown today. As always, check out our podcast, and may the Force be with you.